Today, I will be discussing the state of education in Laos. Lao education is starting to lose its popularity among Lao people. The current trend is for parents to send their children to private Chinese language schools, which are available from the primary level all the way up to university. In one video, you can see people running and competing to get in line just to submit an application. It's clear that Lao people are becoming less interested in the traditional education system, as many feel it offers no future. A video circulating on social media illustrates this, showing a significant drop in student numbers in classrooms, with only a few students present. This is not a new phenomenon. Similar videos have been filmed and shared multiple times over the past year. At the same time, the trend of sending children to study Chinese at private schools or language centers in Laos continues to grow. The reason is that many parents believe Chinese will become a second language that opens up future opportunities in employment, business, and financial stability. Many families are therefore willing to invest in language education for their children, hoping it will give them more opportunities for advancement in life. The crisis of confidence. What is happening clearly reflects that the Lao education system is facing a major problem because it cannot meet the expectations of parents. Many students graduate and are unable to find jobs or secure a stable future, leading to a continuous decline in confidence in the traditional school system. If the Lao education system doesn't adapt, this problem could worsen. Children might lack the fundamental knowledge needed for real life, while parents have to bear the additional financial burden of finding a solution for their children. Education reform that aligns with the needs of society and the labor market is no longer avoidable. The obvious problem in Lao society right now is the significant loss of faith in the education system. Many parents feel that sending their children to schools with a standard curriculum doesn't add as much value to their lives as it should. After graduating, many are still unable to find jobs, lack opportunities, and see no clear path to a stable future. This has caused a shift in values. Many parents are now choosing a new path by sending their children to learn Chinese instead, believing that language skills, especially Chinese, can lead to concrete opportunities in employment, trade, and the economy. This belief is what has caused Chinese language schools in Laos to grow continuously in popularity. The picture this paints is not just a change in learning trends, but also a warning signal of the failure of the current education system. A growing divide. Of course, sending children to foreign-run private schools is not something every family can do, as the costs are quite high. Those who choose this path are typically well-off families or at least have a stable income to bear the burden. This raises the question, why don't these parents choose to send their children to government or Lao national schools? The answer is likely the decline in quality and confidence. Most people feel that government schools cannot provide a stable future for their children, neither academically nor in terms of post-graduation opportunities. As a result, parents with options are turning away from the state education system and choosing what they believe will provide a clearer outcome and a better future. This situation further reflects that the Lao education system is facing a crisis of faith. If state schools cannot improve their quality to be competitive, many children will be segregated by social class. Wealthy families will find their own solutions, while the poor may be unfairly left behind. The threat to national sovereignty and identity. The current phenomenon in Lao society clearly shows that Laos is losing its educational sovereignty. The state system is unable to attract or retain the public's confidence. Many children who should be developed through the domestic curriculum are instead being pushed to learn languages or follow paths dictated by foreigners. The impact isn't just limited to schools, it also extends to the loss of a quality national workforce. When the younger generation is not nurtured by their own education system, their thoughts, skills, and perspectives may be swayed by foreign influences. In the long run, this could lead to a shortage of a workforce with genuine Lao knowledge and ideals. Furthermore, this issue could also affect Lao culture and identity. Learning foreign languages and mindsets without a guarantee that their own system is strong enough could cause the younger generation to unknowingly drift away from their own culture. This is an important warning sign. If not addressed urgently, the Lao education system could become a mere shadow of other countries. The loss might not just be economic opportunities, but also the nation's spirit and identity. The government's response. If public opposition to this issue grows, the worrying thing is that the government might not admit its mistakes. Instead, it might find excuses to cover up or divert the truth, forcing society to accept the situation. For example, a past incident involved public opposition to the Soldiers as Teachers project, even though there were so many unemployed volunteer teachers. Instead of making adjustments based on the public's demands, the government pushed the project forward in a "the more you speak out, the more we do it." This kind of denial of reality doesn't solve the problem. It creates serious negative consequences for national sovereignty. Because when the education system fails and is not properly fixed, the damage will spread to every dimension, whether it be culture, the economy, or society. The younger generation might lose their connection to their roots, the economy might become increasingly dependent on foreigners, and society as a whole might be slowly eroded, little by little. These are the most dangerous risks, as this is not just a temporary problem, but a long-term destabilization of the country. If the state remains silent or is not brave enough to admit its shortcomings, Laos could slowly lose its identity and unknowingly become a mere shadow of other nations. The government's response. If public opposition to this issue grows, the worrying thing is that the government might not admit its mistakes. Instead, it might find excuses to cover up or divert the truth, forcing society to accept the situation. For example, a past incident involved public opposition to the Soldiers as Teachers project, even though there were so many unemployed volunteer teachers. Instead of making adjustments based on the public's demands, the government pushed the project forward in a "the more you speak out, the more we do it." This kind of denial of reality doesn't solve the problem. It creates serious negative consequences for national sovereignty. Because when the education system fails and is not properly fixed, the damage will spread to every dimension, whether it be culture, the economy, or society. The younger generation might lose their connection to their roots, the economy might become increasingly dependent on foreigners, and society as a whole might be slowly eroded, little by little. These are the most dangerous risks, as this is not just a temporary problem, but a long-term destabilization of the country. An alternative perspective. From another perspective, it's possible that the Lao government itself understands the limitations of the state system. Attaining power or working in significant positions within government organizations is often limited by class and structural constraints, making it impossible for ordinary people to rise to major positions as they might hope. Therefore, they may have a policy of bringing in foreign private education curricula to ease future frictions stemming from the demands of Lao society, which is focused solely on being appointed as a government employee. This is because the domestic private sector itself does not meet the needs of new graduates, who, by the day, are becoming a burst bubble, so to speak. For this reason, allowing foreign curricula to influence the education system could be seen as a way to solve the problem, connecting with an economy that is beginning to open up to foreigners and reducing the risk of a bursting bubble in education. But looking deeper, this method also poses a serious risk to Laos sovereignty, because when foreign curricula and mindsets increasingly replace its own education and culture, the country could unknowingly be gradually directed or influenced by foreigners, which is tantamount to completely harming the nation's foundation. That's all for this video from me. I'll see you again in the next episode. Goodbye.